Good morning, Year 6. Today it is Thursday the 9th of July and we're looking at our miles and kilometres. So our first question, complete the conversions below. So we've got here a little hint. So 1 kilometre is 1,000 metres, which equals 10,000 centimetres. So 23,100 centimetres is going backwards. So we're looking here is 1,000 kilometres is 10,000 centimetres. So we've got two lots of those and we're converting them to kilometres. So that is 2.31. So 435 metres equals, but it doesn't equal, not over 1,000. So it's going to be 0. And remember, the numbers don't change order. Okay, so 0.435. 278,000 centimetres. Well, again, we've got metres here. And our centimetres, we've got 278, 27 lots of 10, and then the 8. So it's 27.8 kilometres. And then our last conversion, 1,901 metres. So we know 1,000 equals 1.901. Remembering that placeholder is very important as that changes the value of the number. Our next question. So we know 5 kilometres is roughly or equal to 8 kilometres. So 5 miles, what would that be to? Is 4.8 kilometres. So thinking about that, roughly we can see here, that question, how many miles would be to 80 kilometres and 2.5 miles would be how many kilometres? Well, I know here, nice simple one to start with, 5 kilometres, 5 miles, 8 kilometres. How many miles to 80 kilometres? Well, I just need to divide by 10. So 50. On this side, 4.8. So think about that one. So 4.8 kilometres. So roughly half of that, but a little bit more. So I'm going to say 3. And 2.5 miles, well, I know exactly that there is 4. We're going to have a look at the video today to help you with your learning.
Hello there and welcome back. Today we're going to have a look at converting something called a metric measure. But before we do that, we've got some prefixes, a bit of an English test for us before we get started. So, we've got 3 prefixes here. Do you know about any of them? Do you recognise any of them at all? Well, you might know about milli. Milli means 1,000th. Centi means 100th, and kilo means 1,000. Difference between a kilo and milli. So we represent a milli as 1 over 1,000. Centi, whatever it is, has been 1 over 100, and then a kilo is 1,000 of that thing. That's quite helpful to know these things. So let's take that milli. So at the moment we've just got the prefix milli. But let's put the rest of the word after it. So we've got the millimetre. So, a millimetre we can think of being is a 1,000th of a metre. So, 1 millimetre is 1,000th of a metre. Or, as a decimal, 0.001 metres. Let's change that word now. So we had millimetre before. Now we've got millilitre. That means it's 1,000th of a litre. And we can write that as 1 over 1,000 litres. Or 0.001 litres. So let's think about this conversion. We've gone from millimetres to metres. And we talked about milli being 1,000th of a metre. So if I was to convert millimetres to metres, I could divide whatever it was by 1,000. And similarly, if I wanted to convert a unit that was in metres into millimetres, I could multiply it by 1,000. Millilitres to litres. Same thing. I could divide it by 1,000 to convert millilitres to litres. And if I had a unit that was in litres, I could times it by 1,000 to convert it into millilitres. Let's put that into practice then. So you've got a conversion chart to help you here. Can you convert between millimetres and metres? Pause the video, have a go for yourself. Let's have a look at the first one. Well, currently, it's in millimetres. 2 millimetres, in fact. So, looking at our graph, we can see that actually, because we're going from millimetres to metres, we need to divide by 1,000. And 2 divided by 1,000 is 0.002 metres. What about the next one? We're looking at 2 metres, and we want to convert that into millimetres. So I'll be going from metres to millimetres, so I need to multiply by 1,000. So the calculation would be 2 times 1,000, which is 2,000 millimetres. The next one, 50 millimetres, so I need to divide it by 1,000, which should be 0.05. And then metres to millimetres, I would times by 1,000. So I could think about 0.5 times 1,000, or half of 1,000, as 500 millimetres. So those we just worked out from millimetres to metres. If you notice on the right now, we've got millilitres to litres. So what will stay the same? What will change? Let's think about our conversions. We went from millimetres to metres because milli means 1,000th. I divided by 1,000. And millilitres to litres, I divided by 1,000. So actually, I'm doing the same processes, even though it's millimetres and metres and millilitres and litres. So actually, the answer to the first one, well, 2 millimetres to metres and 2 millilitres to litres, well, I'm just changing the unit. It's just going to be the same. In fact, they're all going to be the same. All I'm doing is just changing the unit. So then, we've got another unit introduced here. We've introduced centi. We've got centimetres and centilitres. Now, in order to convert from millimetres to centimetres, we need to think of the relationship between the two of them. A millimetre was 1,000th of a metre. A centimetre is 100th of a metre. How many times larger is a centimetre than a millimetre? Well, it would be 10 times larger. So to convert from millimetres to centimetres, I would divide by 10. And from centimetres to millimetres, I would multiply by 10. What about from centimetres to metres? Well, centi meaning 100th, so I would divide by 100. And then the other way around, so from metres to centimetres, I would multiply by 100. And then, similar for the millilitres to centilitres, I've still got this multiply and divide by 10 relationship, exactly the same as I had between millimetres and centimetres, and then centimetres and metres. So then, well, you can use the charts if you want to help you, but can you convert these units? Pause the video, have a go for yourself. Let's have a look at the first one. Currently, it's 3 metres, and we want to know what that would be equivalent to in centimetres. So from metres to centimetres, we need to multiply by 100, so it would be 300 centimetres. The next one is the opposite way around. It's 305 centimetres, but we want it in metres. So we need to divide by 100, which would be 3.05 metres. The next one, from metres to millimetres, we can see we need to multiply by 1,000, which would be 305. And the last one, 305 metres into centimetres. Well, I need to multiply by 100, which would be 30,500. What about litres and millilitres? Well, 2 litres is 2,000 millilitres. we've got 0.35 litres, so we'd have to multiply that by 100 to convert that into centilitres, which is 35 centilitres. We've got 1.01 litres. How many millilitres is that equivalent to? Well, we could multiply that by 1,000, which would be 1,010. And at last, we've got 550 millilitres, which is equivalent to 55 centilitres. We're going to introduce a new unit here. A large car might weigh around 2 tonnes. Now, this word tonnes has got a specific name for it in metric. We know a tonne is equivalent to 1,000 kilograms. So let's think about these conversions. We've got grams, kilograms, and tonnes. We know from before that 1 tonne was equivalent to 1,000 kilograms. And we know that 1 kilogram is equivalent to 1,000 grams. So the opposite way around, we need to think about dividing. So if we were converting grams to kilograms, we divide by 1,000, and kilograms to tonnes, we divide by 1,000 as well. So can you work these out then? Pause the video, have a go for yourself. So the first one then. Well, 3 kilograms in grams will be 3,000. 2,500 grams is 2.5 kilograms, or 2.500 if you've not taken off those zeros, which you don't need. 200 grams would be equivalent to, well, if I divide that by 1,000, would be 0.2 kilograms. What about converting in tonnes? Well, 3 tonnes, how many kilograms? Well, 1 tonne is 1,000, 2 tonnes is 2,000, so 3 tonnes is 3,000. 4,500 kilograms, well, that's 4.5 tonnes. And then the last one, 55,000 kilograms. Well, if I divide that by 1,000, it will be 55 tonnes.
Okay, so have a go at the worksheet that you've been sent by your teacher, and also don't forget to have a look at your learning by questions.